Hello, welcome back to Brittany's Cooking Channel. Today I'm going to be cooking shrimp Alfredo. I'm going to be cooking steaks, boneless steaks, and also I'm going to be preheating shrimps. You can buy them like this from the grocery store in a little container like this. First, I'm going to start by cutting my onions so it can be a seasoning for the steaks. You just peel the onion. Peel the onion. Cut the ends off. Don't mind the background. That's just my family in the background talking, getting ready for me to prep the dinner. Alright. Take the steak. Take the onions. You cut them up. You cut them the long way like this, so you can sit them over top of your steaks. Alright, I got the onions nicely chopped. See? I'm going to sit this right here for a minute while I get the pan and the aluminum foil out for the steaks. You use a flat pan for the steaks. Also, I use aluminum foil. You can prep your pan however you choose. So I use the aluminum foil so the meat won't stick to the pan. You can also oil your pan with olive oil if you don't have no aluminum foil. This is the type of aluminum foil that I use. Reynolds wrap. I'm going to double my aluminum foil. All right. That's how the pan look once you wrap it. Okay, we're going to start with the steaks. Let me get the seasonings out first that I use for my steak, so I can show you all. All right. This is all the seasonings that I use for my steak. To season it with, I use Montreal steak seasoning. I use a little bit of adobo seasoning. I use a little bit of onion powder, and I use a little bit of garlic powder. Make sure that when you take the meat out of the pack that you rinse the meat off. That's just my choice to do, rinse the meat off. Well, that one didn't need to be rinsed. Right back. tell you guys, I have a little special guest coming in the kitchen, my mom, to help me out with the size of the pan. You think I could put this one on here also?
Yeah, take that out. Rinse that steak off.
Come on. I already rinsed the other ones off. I wasn't going to rinse this one off.
There you go.
Alright.
Once it go down, it'll shrink in.
No, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about this side. Okay.
Yeah, once it go down, it'll shrink in. Let me wash my hands real quick.
Alright, so I have all the steaks on the aluminum foil flat pan. And I'm going to start with my seasonings.
Just smush them like this. They'll cook. They're gonna throw it down.
My first seasoning I'm going to start with is the Montreal steak sauce seasoning. It looks like this. Matter of fact, before I put this on, I'm going to poke some little holes in the steak so that when I'm seasoning it, the steak sauce and the steak seasonings can get in the creases. So, you just take your flat knife like this and you poke like little holes in it. Okay. Start back with your seasoning. Make sure you massage the seasonings inside the meat, in the meat. Rub it on, rub it in. The next one I'm going to do is the adobo seasoning. Rub that in. The next one I'm going to use is the garlic powder. And then next, I'm going to do the onion powder. One more thing I'm going to add to the steak is salt. I'm going to add a little bit of regular salt. Just a little bit. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to do with the steaks is I'm going to take a little teaspoon of olive oil. Well, I'm going to take a little teaspoon of cooking grease. This is my little thing that I like to do. And just put it a little bit over the steak so it can give it a nice moisture when I wrap the top. And pour a little bit in the corners of your pan just to give it a little juice. You don't want your steak dry. You definitely do not want your steak dry at all. Okay. After that, I'm gonna wrap the top of this with some aluminum foil. I need a little bit more of this. You're going to take your aluminum foil and you're going to wrap. You want to wrap the steak. And I choose to poke holes in the top of my aluminum foil just to give the steak some air. So it's going to be like this, all wrapped up. And then I'm going to put my oven to 350. Well, actually, I'm going to put it on 325. And I'm just going to place this in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour. All right, I'm gonna be back to let y'all see how that turns out, and I'll be right back.